it helps in object reanimation. So I can't copy objects, mainly because AD doesn't let me just go and create a SID and create a certain GUID. I can't drag and drop an object from a snapshot. But again, with scripting, I can absolutely use the reanimation features of Active Directory and then copy the attributes over. Now, this isn't such a huge deal with R2, because obviously 2008 R2 has the recycle bin anyway. So if that's enabled, if you're running all R2, I can undelete objects and I don't lose any attributes. But until I get there, I mean, this is still a very, very powerful feature. And even forgetting about reanimation, it's still great to be able to see, well, how was the Active Directory at this certain point in time? So I can create utilities and scripts to export this information and import. As I said, we can't just copy, because the SID and the GUID would be different, because it would actually create a new object. So you do have full scripting access. That's just really reiterating what I've already said. So anything that you can do in VBS or anything else to access LDAP will work against the snapshot. So this is a utility I came across. It's actually a free MMC snap-in, and I got the link there. And essentially what it does is it does a comparison. So it looks at the current Active Directory and a snapshot you point it to, and it can actually use that information to actually reanimate an object. So it does the reanimation for you, then it does that export of the attributes and the backlinks, i.e. the group memberships, onto that reanimated object. It can work with the Active Directory auditing to give you better information about, well, this is exactly how it looked at that previous point in time. I actually had the website. So this is just its website, and it just talks through, and I did install it, and it looks great. I mean, it seems to do exactly what it's talking about. It's got a 64 and a 32-bit version, and it talks through how to use it and the changelog, etc. So if you are using the snapshots and you are using it from a sort of what's changed, that tool's very, very good for that. So I recommend just taking a look at this. So bear in mind, we are doing a VSS copy on write snapshot. So what that basically means is that this VSS snapshot is looking at any of those blocks related to the information it cares about, and before you can write to that block, it hijacks the current content, copies it somewhere else, and then lets you do that write to the original block. So there is an I/O hit on write operations with this enabled, which means I probably don't want to be running more than 1 or 2 active snapshots at a time for production domain controllers, because those snapshots, the copy and writes, will start to take a hit on your performance. So you don't necessarily want to be running a ton of these all at one time. Obviously, the longer the snapshot is kept, the larger the delta between the snapshot and the live Active Directory, which means the snapshot location where it's storing the changes is going to grow. Another cool thing is that even if we don't have a snapshot, if you have a system state backup, you can actually go and extract the ntds.dip from that system state backup you have, and then mount it using DSA main. So you would copy that somewhere on the file system, and you can then mount it. Excuse me. So you can actually use the DSA main functionality and look at a copy of Active Directory, not from a snapshot. Even if it's just a full system state, I can extract ntds.dip from it. There's just the standard links to obviously the FA-FAQ I run. I post the technology videos on this location and on the ittv.net. I really appreciate your time. I hope that was useful. Any questions, obviously submit them in, and I'll answer them in the FAQ. Thank you very much.